Welcome, guys. My name is Anthony.
And I'm Eddie.
Today, we're going to talk about the semifinals of the World Cup.
And we're gonna start by talking about Argentina versus Croatia.
What do you think about that game?
To be honest, I thought Argentina was gonna struggle because they've been struggling since they started the World Cup, and they actually surprised me in this game. This was probably their best game by far, and this like the only game. Well, the other games they were fighting, but this one it was like more passion, and every player was like covering more than their ground. And even Messi this time, he was running more and pressuring more, which I don't think I've seen him do that in the past games of the World Cup.
I agree. I was watching Messi and he was going for it this game. He was
Yeah,
dropping back. He was like taking on players, fighting for balls.
and he gave two assists, right, in the goal, or one assist and the goal.
Yeah. And Julian Alvarez, 2 goals. That's pretty good.
The second goal surprised me. There was no way, and then the defenders kept like flying away from the ball.
I know. What's up with that? Two guys.
And I think they got confident when because remember Messi was juke the player, and then the person like dropped Messi, and I think the defenders they're like, oh, they're gonna mark foul, and they didn't expect Alvarez to take it.
Down the middle and two guys missed the ball. I was like, blast that out. What are you doing?
Exactly. Me, I was like, drop him.
The first guy swings and misses. The second guy swings and like basically misses.
Technically, he lost the ball if it wasn't because the defenders made a wrong move.
Exactly. He didn't have control of the ball really.
They actually set it up for him at the end.
I thought Croatia was gonna put out a good fight because they've been pretty solid.
I feel like in this World Cup, Croatia was good, but they were struggling a lot. And Japan, for example, against Japan, I feel like Japan could have won it. And then in the next round against Brazil, Brazil was all over them too. They went through.
Yeah.
Croatia. That's one thing Croatia has. They keep fighting. They don't give up. And even against Argentina, when they were 2-0, despite maybe not playing their best, and it's not they're not playing their best, it was also that Argentina was putting up a really good game.
Yeah. This was their best game yet.
Mhm.
And sad to say, this is Croatia's worst game yet.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, because they hadn't lost like that in a while. And but it was also like revenge for Argentina. Remember that last World Cup, Croatia beat them 3-1. I do feel a little sad for Modric.
Yeah, he was amazing, like always.
And I do want to say something about Modric. People always compare him like who's better, Xavi, Iniesta, or Modric. And obviously, to me, because I'm a Barca fan, I would say Iniesta. When it comes to ball control, I would say Iniesta is better. Xavi, I would say he maybe his vision, maybe, but I think what we talked about, I think you and I talked about this in the Ronaldo video or the Pierce interview with Ronaldo, the ones that we have put out there so far. That longevity is very important to becoming one of the greats. I gotta admit and admire that he's doing way more than what Iniesta and Xavi could do at that age.
Still performing at the top level and playing full games.
Mhm.
Not only
Mhm.
that, even this World Cup, extra time
Exactly. Mhm.
at that age in the midfield, that's incredible.
I really like Iniesta and Xavi, and they both won a World Cup. They have like stats and everything to back it up. But again, if we want to talk about longevity and then like at that age for a midfielder to play at that level, like Modric for sure is probably the best in that because at Real Madrid he's still putting good performances and he's a starter. He's not like a bench.
The summer that his contract was expiring, people were saying, should Madrid sell him? And they decided to keep him another year.
And they're like, no, Casemiro has to go. He commits too many fouls.
One of the best guys. in Madrid.
I just think his dedication and very professional. He keeps it very professional to the game. And I do feel sad to see him go in this World Cup because he's one of the greats too. And every time one of the greats goes, especially at his age, it's sad to watch, especially because I've been watching him too since I think Madrid signed him. And before that, did he play for Tottenham? I think I can't
Yeah,
remember. Yeah,
he
right.
played for Spurs.
But on that note, what do you think about the other bracket, France versus Morocco? I mean, to be honest, I didn't watch that one. I was working, but I only watched the highlights, so I don't have much of a reference on that one.
I think it was a pretty good game. It was kind of back and forth.
Mm,
Morocco, 5 minutes in, and they already got scored on.
yeah, I think that's what ruined them. It could have made the game. It probably made the game better because they were gonna try to find and tie it to have an early goal at that time during a semifinal against France. It's pretty tough to come back from that. But against France, unless it's England, because England could have easily beat. I'm still mad that England didn't go through. It's pretty hard to score goals against France, regardless. France hasn't been scoring a lot.
It was also pretty surprising because Morocco has conceded only one goal the whole tournament, and
Hmm.
it was an own goal. Who
I
led
was
in
talking about that when who did they beat? They beat someone at the end. I was like, it was their last game at the group stage, and then I was like, well, Morocco scored all the goals. It wasn't the other team. And Hakimi is young, I feel bad because he had to go. He still has years to play for other World Cups. France is just packed. Even if they don't play well, they have the arsenal to score. That's one thing they have, and that's what matters in football, to score.
It's scary with all the injuries that they've had.
Mm.
They still have like a team this good.
But it reminds me a little bit of Madrid, not necessarily their playing style or anything. But I remember sometimes when they asked Perez, when they asked him, "Oh, yes, do you care about?" Or even the coaches they had asked him in the past, "Oh, how about Barcelona playing this well, playing like beautiful football?" And then Madrid's like, "We just care about winning. we don't, we don't have to play good to win, whether we like it or not. That's what matters at the end, to win." But anyways, we're getting distracted.
Did you see that bicycle kick though?
I did see that one.
That would have been the goal of the tournament. Richarlison's goal was good, but that would have been on top.
And in a semifinal against France, that would have definitely taken the World Cup goal for sure.
I was sad for him that it hit the post.
Yeah, I almost got that same feeling when my wire almost tied it with the header. Proud of Morocco. They were fighting to the end and didn't give up. And they put up a fight against France. Not everyone could say that.
Topped their group. They beat Spain. They beat Portugal. Put up a fight against France. Made history too.
Yeah, and they had tougher teams in Argentina to get there.
Definitely.
And Argentina almost got eliminated by Australia. So that's why against Croatia, I was like, dang, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But they also, I guess they saved their best for last. Well, not yet because the final's coming.
Out of nowhere, they scored like 3 goals.
I know. I was like, you couldn't do this against Saudi Arabia. The Saudi Arabia player is getting better. The one who went to the hospital in the first game. Glad to see that he's better. I didn't even know that he went to the hospital right after.
I didn't know about that either until I watched the video.
So far, the World Cup, who do you think? What were the teams that you saw that played the best, despite the ones that were eliminated already? Who were your favorites? Let's leave it at that.
Originally, it was Brazil,
Brazil,
but then they got knocked out.
Croatia, bro. You just have to be stubborn and passionate.
I liked France too. They did
Mhm.
pretty well, as always, recently. One person goes under the radar is Griezmann.
I think he does a lot of coverage in the middle. He's covering what he needs to cover. It almost reminds me, not necessarily of Busquets because they're different styles, but Busquets also, you could say he wouldn't do anything, but he would actually do his job and cover what needs to be covering his position. Like he played it so well that it seemed that you can't really tell that he's playing because he's just playing his position so well doing coverage.
Compared to the last World Cup, goal scoring was kind of on him. He's
Yeah.
more of like a playmaker in this World Cup.
And
Drops
I
back, gets the ball, tries to like make the passes. He's been making a lot of good passes.
and to be honest, once he moved to Barca, I don't know what happened. I was like he was the same with Coutinho. Like who has Coutinho and Griezmann and Messi and can win the freaking quarterfinals or semifinals? Yeah, quarterfinals in a Champions League.
Now Griezmann is looking like his old self again. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good to see.
Hmm. For me, I think my favorite. Well, obviously, I gotta go for Mexico, even though they didn't do good at this World Cup. And then after that, I would say, well, I was going for the US, and I thought they had a solid team. But the Netherlands was like, nah. And Spain, I also like Spain. I do like the way they played, but it was just one game. And then obviously
One
Argentina.
one game 7-0 and it was downhill from there.
But I was literally really going for Japan because I thought they had potential, bro. But their penalties just suck. I was like, you guys did the hardest part already. Just score. When it comes to penalties, I maybe shot three or two in the past that I score, but most of the times I don't want to shoot them. And you could ask my other older teammates that I would play with. Every time we go to penalties, I'd be like, leave me to the end if necessary. And when they would miss, I would be like, man, I should have gone. Like Neymar almost.
Shots fired. For me personally, I like taking penalties.
It's too much pressure for me. I mean, obviously, I would do it if I really need to. But if I have other players that are more confident, I will let them go. I did want to say something else about the World Cup. Who do you think might win it on Sunday?
France.
France? I could see that. I mean, I also think France might win it, but if Argentina plays like they play against Croatia, they have a good chance of winning it if they play with passion. They just have to basically erase Mbappe. If Mbappe doesn't do much, France is not going to do much. And
Argentina's right back is doing pretty well actually. He's
mhm,
been like running up and down that side.
yeah, but the thing with that is now they're going against Mbappe and Dembele. You know, those players are really fast, both of them. That's where the danger comes from France. When Real Madrid had Ronaldo and Bale, Di Maria or Mesut Özil for the passes and the counters, like those counters were deadly. Better
Yeah,
than France. France reminds me a little bit of that with their wingers,
yeah.
Dembele and Mbappe. And I
And
think that's really dangerous for Argentina because most of their defense is not they're really good, but I don't think they're that fast.
they have Giroud. I think he's a good luck charm, man. Every team that has him, they win something. Everywhere he
Hmm.
goes. Like he went to Chelsea, he won. He went to AC Milan, they won. Recently, they
You
haven't.
since talking about Giroud, it almost reminded me not letting Luke De Jong shoot a penalty. And remember we talked about the penalties when we said why did they lose Rodrigo shoot in Brazil? Why did Harry Kane shot the second one? And Luke De Jong is always confident and he always comes in clutch. He would have given that confidence.
Netherlands, right?
Yeah, in the Netherlands when they lost in
He
penalties.
didn't get a penalty.
No, they didn't let him shoot first. I thought he should have gone first because the first one missed it. He's always been clutch. He was clutch for Barca. If it wasn't for him, the season they got him, Barca wouldn't even be fighting with Real Madrid. Him and Aubameyang were coming in clutch.
He's experienced too. If they play like England, where they have like a center defensive mid and the right back covering Mbappe,
Imagine if Kyle Walker was in Argentina, it would have been over for France.
as long as they put in 200%, they'll have a
France.
good chance.
And the only thing I see France losing is if they also because I don't know if you've seen France interviews they're like a little cocky, like, yeah, we're gonna win it type of stuff. If they let that get to their head, that could be their fall down. Like they just
Yeah.
think they're like they could think that they're just good, they're gonna win because they're good. That mentality could rent. It's also good, but if you don't be careful, it might be your fall down too.
Both teams have a shaky back line. Argentina has proven that time and time again. For France, England exposed that. France was making really bad fouls at the back.
All it was pressure. England was like no, and it wasn't necessarily. It was that England plays good football, and they were like, we're gonna win this. Regardless of them losing, they had that mentality. Like we don't care about France players being good. We're gonna try to win ourselves. And they play, but again, I think we talked it in the past in the other videos. England play way better than France.
As long as you put the pressure on, if
Mm-hmm.
France puts the pressure on Argentina,
But if Argentina lets me play, I'll just block Mbappe, bro. And if he doesn't listen, take him out. That's what they did to Ronaldo. Remember that Euro 2016?
yeah, I feel like that was on purpose too.
What was his name? Payet. I was like freaking papaya, dude. I wanted to see that in Ronaldo. No, and the reason because I think we talked in the past that we both love to watch, great players. And it was the same time where Argentina and Messi were doing good and they lost the Copa America in the final. Messi played a good game, and then Ronaldo, I was after the game, I was like, oh, now I gotta watch Portugal and see how Ronaldo does. And that was probably like Ronaldo's best moment in Portugal. Like it looked like he could do a lot in that final. And then he got injured like in the 15 minute. I was like,
Yeah,
I didn't even want to watch the game anymore. Stay tuned. We'll do more breakdowns in the future, not just the World Cup, but we might do one at the final depending on what happens. What's up with all this views but no comment?
100 views, no comments.
Not even with Jordan in the background. No one says, "Oh, look at those cute eyes" or anything.
I also want to give out a shout out to our seniors.
Hey,
That's our audience.
see, and the seniors know we speak facts because they're knowledgeable. If you're young and you don't like what we're saying, you need to do your research. You need to. With that being said, comment, subscribe, like, and give us suggestions on what else you guys want us to react to or break down.